There's a quiet power in a woman who knows who she is. Not the loud, attention-seeking kind of power that demands validation from the world, but a calm, grounded confidence that doesn't need approval. A true woman doesn't chase. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't follow the crowd just to feel accepted. She attracts, because everything about her speaks before she even says a word. In a world that constantly tells people to run faster, try harder, and prove themselves louder, she moves differently. She understands something most people never learn: when you build value within yourself, you don't have to chase anything outside of you. Opportunities come, respect comes, the right people come, not because she's lucky, but because she's aligned. Think about it. Why do people chase? Because they feel something is missing. They feel incomplete. They believe someone else or something else will fill that gap. But a true woman has already done that inner work. She has faced her insecurities, her fears, her doubts, and instead of running from them, she grew through them. She doesn't follow trends just to fit in. She doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. She doesn't change her values to be accepted. And that's exactly why she stands out. There's a difference between attention and attraction. Attention is loud. It's temporary. It fades quickly. Attraction is quiet. It's powerful. It's lasting. And a true woman understands that she doesn't need to perform to be seen. Her presence alone speaks volumes. She walks into a room, and people notice, not because she's trying to impress, but because she's authentic. There's no mask, no pretending, no desperate energy, just clarity, just purpose, just confidence. And here's the truth most people won't tell you: attraction is not about looks. Looks might catch the eye, but they don't hold attention for long. What truly attracts is energy. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you think. It's how you treat others. It's the standards you set and the boundaries you protect. A true woman has standards. Not unrealistic expectations, but clear, strong standards. She knows her worth, and because of that, she doesn't settle. She doesn't entertain disrespect. She doesn't chase someone who is unsure about her. She doesn't compete for attention. If she's not valued, she walks away, not out of ego, but out of self-respect. And that's where her power lies. Because when you stop chasing, you start choosing. When you stop seeking validation, you start defining your own value. When you stop following others, you start leading yourself. Leadership isn't always about standing in front of a crowd. Sometimes, it's about having the courage to stand alone. To trust your own path, even when no one else understands it. A true woman does exactly that. She listens to her inner voice more than the noise around her. She invests in herself, not just externally, but internally. She works on her mindset. She builds emotional strength. She learns. She grows. She evolves. Because she knows that who she becomes is more important than what she gets. And because of that, she becomes magnetic. People are drawn to her not because she's trying to pull them in, but because there's something real about her. Something rare. Something that can't be faked. She doesn't need to prove she's strong. Her actions show it. She doesn't need to announce her value. Her presence reflects it. She doesn't need to demand respect. The way she carries herself commands it. And here's something powerful: she's not afraid to walk away. That's one of the biggest differences between someone who follows and someone who attracts. The follower stays, even when they're not valued. The one who attracts knows when to leave. Because she understands that staying in the wrong place drains her energy. And her energy is valuable. It's not something she gives away freely. She protects her peace. She protects her time. She protects her focus. And that's why her life moves in a different direction. She doesn't chase people who don't choose her. She doesn't force connections. She doesn't beg for attention. Because she knows that what is meant for her will align with her, not because she chased it, but because she became the person who naturally attracts it. That's the mindset shift. Instead of asking, "How do I get them to notice me?" she asks, "Am I becoming someone worth noticing?" Instead of thinking, "How do I keep them?" she thinks, "Are they aligned with my standards?" Instead of worrying, "Why don't they choose me?" she asks, "Do I even choose them?" That's power. And it doesn't come overnight. It's built over time, through discipline, through self-awareness, through growth. A true woman doesn't wake up one day and suddenly become magnetic. She becomes magnetic because she puts in the work every single day. She builds habits that strengthen her. She surrounds herself with growth. She distances herself from negativity. She chooses progress over comfort. And slowly, everything changes. Her confidence becomes unshakable. Her mindset becomes focused. Her energy becomes calm but powerful. And people feel that. Because energy is contagious. People can feel when someone is desperate. And they can feel when someone is grounded. Desperation pushes people away. Confidence draws them in. That's why chasing never works. The more you chase, the more you signal that you don't have value. The more you try to force something, the more it resists. But when you step back, when you focus on yourself, when you build your life, your purpose, your identity, that's when things start coming to you. A true woman understands timing. She doesn't rush things. She doesn't force outcomes. She trusts the process. She knows that the right opportunities, the right people, the right moments, they don't need to be chased. They arrive when you're ready for them. And readiness doesn't come from wishing. It comes from becoming. Becoming stronger. Becoming wiser. Becoming more self-aware. Becoming more disciplined. And the more she becomes, the less she needs to chase. Because she's no longer trying to fill a void. She's no longer trying to prove something. She's no longer trying to be chosen. She already chose herself. And that changes everything. Because when a woman chooses herself, she stops accepting less than she deserves. She stops tolerating disrespect. She stops settling for temporary attention. She starts building something real. She becomes selective. Not because she's arrogant, but because she's aware. Aware of her worth. Aware of her energy. Aware of her direction. And that awareness is what makes her powerful. She doesn't need to follow anyone's path. She creates her own. She doesn't need to fit into someone else's expectations. She defines her own standards. And yes, that path can be lonely at times. Not everyone will understand her. Not everyone will support her. Not everyone will align with her. But she's okay with that. Because she'd rather be alone and true to herself than surrounded and disconnected from who she is. That's the mindset that separates followers from leaders. That's the mindset that turns attention into attraction. So if there's one thing to remember, it's this: stop chasing. Stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't see your value. Stop following paths that don't align with who you are. Instead, build yourself. Strengthen your mind. Raise your standards. Protect your energy. Because when you do that, you don't have to chase anything. You attract it. And that's the power of a true woman.